So I've got like a wasteland of unfinished projects behind me. The rap mixtape I was going to put out last year that I wrote enough songs for 2 volumes of, never recorded. Sequel to a book I did about skateboard graphics, started, never finished. 4 or 5 little like photo zine projects, never finished. At one point I had this idea that I would do, I would take the abstract photos that I make and I'd print them on whatever showed up in my living social feed or like in those emails. So like, you know, like asinine photo blankets. I like bought 2 for like 14 bucks. I waited until that deal was an hour from expiring once I had like the little voucher and finally put the thing out. So I almost like completely missed the deadline on it. For however long I've been doing creative work, it's just typical. When I was a teenager, it was zines I never finished. Just lots of stuff. And I used to beat myself up about it and feel kind of bad and feel like I was lazy or that I procrastinated or that I was self-sabotaging or whatever you want to say. And I just started making music. And within 4 days, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a demo. And then I wrote a song within, I don't remember, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be a 12-inch. And then I wrote another song and I was like, oh, I guess that's the B-side to the 12-inch. And then another song, I was like, there's another 12-inch. No deadlines, no goals. Sorry, cold tears, freezing out even though it's mid-April. Just spontaneously, you know. And yesterday, or the day before, I finally gave titles to the songs in the demos and sequenced them. I have to adjust the drums on one song and then design the cover, and it's finished. I know that project isn't gonna be one of my half-finished projects. So what's interesting to me is I used to measure like the idea that I could do a project and kind of see the end result and go, oh, okay, like cool, this is a project that we're gonna do, and then maybe I'd feel bad if I didn't do it. Now I kind of look at it and I go, I have an impulse to do a project, I'll start it, I'll do some preliminary work, and if I never feel compelled to lift a finger on it again, I'm not feeling bad about it. I just assume that that's my subconscious or my gut or whatever telling me I don't have to do that project. If you can't be motivated to finish a record without a record deal, yeah, you could feel bad about that, or you could just say, screw it, probably not supposed to make a record, probably just supposed to write songs, and if the opportunity comes up, then maybe I'll do it. Because the thing I noticed about myself was, like, years ago, I wrote a bunch of books. And it occurs to me the only reason I could finish those books is because if I didn't, I had to give someone money. Not a ton of money, but enough money that it would have been a pain in the ass, and I didn't want to give them back their money, and I would have been embarrassed at having flaked on the project. So when those pressures aren't there, I'm not so great with deadlines, and I'm not so great with deliverables. So I need a job to do most things, because I just don't care. In the grand scheme of things, like, I just really don't care. So if there's no threat of being fired and my kid's starving, probably not doing it. Except when something crosses that threshold where my ambition kicks in, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting here plotting how to scrap together the money to make 100 demos, which I'm probably not gonna do, but it's the point of it. Is all of a sudden I am motivated and I don't need deadlines. I'm way ahead of schedule when the feeling is right. So those are just some thoughts on the idea of, like, if you feel like you need structure to do projects, maybe you do, maybe that's a sign you don't need to do those projects. Thanks for watching.